ये बिंदास है, बंदा 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 ये बिंदास है.
With his dad, a doctor in the Indian Army, Joydeep's family lived in many places across India. One would think that he would have got totally bored of traveling. But no, it had become a passion. And thus began a journey that he would return to later in life. The travel bug had bitten Joydeep and he was absolutely smitten.
I have traveled all over the country in terms of whether you talk about Nathula in Sikkim, or you're talking about Jaisalmer in terms of the deserts, or even you go off to the Hampi in terms of its rich culture, or you're talking about the monasteries in Ladakh. So got to see a lot of them in the early childhood. And throughout the 19 years I was with my parents in the army environment, got to feel the pulse of India in terms of its diverse culture, in terms of art, in terms of its people, its food, their likes, their dislikes, and most importantly the amazing diversity of terrain. I mean, I can't think of any other country in the world which can actually talk about the highest of the mountains, or the grandest of the deserts and the backwaters and the islands.
A spell in the hospitality industry and then a few years in the corporate world meant more travel in India and abroad. Slowly, the fact sunk in that it was traveling that gave him the most pleasure. Joydeep thought he could build a business around this. And the genesis of the idea of Odd Road began, and then the epiphany at a traffic signal.
I was in one of these trips to north of Himachal, Tabo Monastery, and there were a lot of people out there from various parts of the world, like you had Germans, Finnish, English, Spanish. In amongst Indians you had Gujaratis, Punjabis, and of course Bengalis. And they were having various discussions amongst themselves. So some of them were talking about how this is very much similar to what they read in the books. Someone was talking about it's a nice place, it's very cold, but they haven't got the right clothes out here. There were some of the Bengalis were mentioning that the food options are not very good. There were some Punjabis who were saying that, I have seen colder mountains in Upper Uttarakhand and stuff like that. So there was something which which stayed in my mind, and I couldn't really pinpoint it that time. Something which was missing. What is it that they are looking for? What is missing? And I just stayed that the thought stayed in my mind for a very, very long time. And it so happened in the most unassuming of places, in one of the typical traffic jams of Bangalore, where I was just waiting for the traffic to clear out, and that's when the whole thing hit me. That in a world in the world of IT, in the world of Google, where you can actually find information within seconds, why do we still go and ask others about where to go on a holiday? And that's where I realized that there is not a single website or a single platform in the world where you can actually find destinations based on your preferences.
Joydeep was by now convinced he had to do something more. Instead of waiting for others to address the pain points, he plunged in. He designed Odd Road so that you get to choose your holiday according to your taste and preferences. You're not stuck with predictable destinations. Odd Road doesn't just plan a trip for you, it weaves an experience.
I think it was very obvious that I would have to start it myself. The first reason is, of course, I'm being a passionate traveler, I could correlate, or rather I can correlate to what travelers look for. I mean, how many of us have spoken about planning an amazing holiday but coming back saying it was not so good? Something has been missing, and the only way I can talk about addressing that thing which is missing is by being in it myself.
Armed with full support from family, his wife Gauri is now an Odd Roader team member. Disha, his daughter with a million-watt smile, makes sure he heads in the right direction whenever he veers off.
I discovered myself in this holiday. The day I hear that, when someone comes back from a holiday planned by Odd Road, that's it. That's the satisfaction I'm looking at for Odd Road.
Joydeep is hoping to change the way we travel and experience India. Karma is proud to have mentored Joydeep and his venture Odd Road.